Good evening. Welcome, welcome. It's Dawn Duval from the Villages, Florida, but coming to you from Jensen Beach, Florida, where it is nice weather. It has been for the last couple of days. So come on in and let me load in the comments. I think I've got those coming. And we'll get started here in a few minutes. I'm a little bit early, believe it or not. So we'll see how this goes. So come on in. Let me know that you're out there. Say hi. Where are you from? If you're watching this on the replay, and if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a video. And if this is your first time watching my channel, welcome. And if you're watching this on Facebook as a replay, make sure you like my page and sign up for my newsletter. You can do that at shallwestamp.com. If you happen to be on Facebook, you can click the button that says sign up. If I'm not mistaken, it should be right there. All right, so we're just gonna wait for some people to start popping in, and I'm gonna go ahead. Let me refresh my comments here, make sure we've got everything working. All right, so we are on, we're loaded in. Comments. Oh, hey Chris, how are you? Now everybody's coming in. I had to give it a second to see, here we go. I go live and my nose starts itching. So how's everyone? How's the weather up in y'all's neck of the woods? Hello, Karen, how are you? Oh, thank you for sharing. Hi, Jane. How are you? Welcome. We're going to give it a couple, let's see, it's right at 7, so let's just give it another minute or so to let some of the slow pokes come on. And then we'll start. We're going to do 3 cards this evening. And I'm going to be using one of the new stamp sets from the new catalog, and it's called Garden Wishes, and it is a cling stamp with 11 stamps, and it has 14 coordinating dies. So I'm going to show you all of that. And we're going to do 3 cards. Most of the work I've already done because I had to use the Big Shot and I didn't feel like bringing that thing. I made all the stuff before we came down here. We're in Jensen Beach. So we're hanging out in our RV. We've had some pretty good weather. It's going to be a little bit cooler. I think it might get up into the 70s, and I know for you all that are up north and all of that, that's probably, you know, warm to you all. So, but it's been pretty nice weather. So my husband went up to an Asian bistro and got some dinner to go tonight. So I had some red curry chicken, which I love. It was really, really good. And then a spicy tuna roll. And let's see, what have we been doing while we're down here? We've gone riding bikes, and I went and got my nails done today and a pedicure. That was nice. It was a really nice salon too. And let's see, we have played pickleball, which has been good because I need the exercise. I'm putting on weight because the dog does not want to walk. I don't know if y'all have that, if you have dogs. They just don't, they get stubborn, don't want to walk, and she just digs her feet in and she's not going anywhere, and I can't force her. You know, I start trying to drag her and she's bouncing down, you know, down the road. But so I think I've put on about 1.5 pounds just from sitting around and eating and not doing a whole lot, you know what I mean? Ugh. So, and I've done really well because I've lost about, I'm not that big, but you know, it's all relevant, right? So a few pounds on me is a lot. But I've actually lost about 10 pounds. So, and I'm still where I want to be, but I just don't want to put any more weight on. But our cousin had sent us, and I don't know if I mentioned this to y'all the last time, they sent us this almond toffee, and it's a really, it's like, I don't know, it was like $50 for 2 ounces or something. I mean, oh my gosh, this stuff was so good. It was unbelievable. I have to get the name and show it to y'all next week. It has to stay, I saw your toes at the pool, yeah. You have to keep it in the refrigerator or the freezer, but oh my God, this toffee is like melts in your mouth. It is so delicious. And my cousin, or Chuck's cousin's girlfriend, Paige, she said her dad used to buy this toffee for them. So it's so good, but I'll have to share the name. Yes, if y'all hadn't seen my post on my Facebook page, I bought, Stampin' Up has a lunch bag that you can purchase. I think it was like $15. And or you might have to get your demonstrator to get it for you. Hi, welcome everybody. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be more than happy to work with you. But I ordered this lunch bag, and it looks just like the our. We had a bag that we were doing. I think it was last year when if you joined, you got this really nice bag. It was blue and flowers and all that stuff. It was really nice. Well, this is very similar. It's navy blue, or it's a bluish color. It's got real pretty flowers and all of that. And actually, I've been told that the small, the little mini baby boss, whatever you want to call it, the small cut and emboss machine fits in there. But I took it to the pool with my snacks. So, hi Rosalie, how are you? So, anyways, everyone's coming on. So, let's see, what time is it? I've been chit-chatting. All right, it's 7:04. So let's go. Hey Debbie, how are you? Let's go ahead and get started. And those of you that are just joining, I'm going to make 3 cards. Let me go ahead and I'm going to flip the camera down. We're going to be working with the Garden Wishes, and this is a new cling mount set in the new catalog. This comes with 11 dies, and you can purchase, it's 11 cling stamps, and then there's 14 dies that coordinate, and it's got all sorts, and we're going to be using all sorts of these in the 3 cards. Now, most of this I've already pre-cut because I did all this before we left home. And this cost, I think this, if you just get this set, there is a suite of products, but I think if you get just this set, that stamp set is $51.25 with the dies, which then will put you into Celebration, where then you get to choose something from the Celebration catalog. Now, keep in mind, Celebration is going to only run from January 5th until the end of February. We're only going to do 2 months. So you need to make sure you get your purchases in and get what you want. There's also the Dragonfly Garden, and I don't believe, Karen, I know you said you like dragonflies. I don't think I brought that stamp set with me. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyways, I'll show it when well, obviously I won't be able to show it until I get back into the Villages, because we're going to be here to the end of the month. But anyways, so 51, what did I say, 51.25? Hang on a minute. Yeah, 51.25 for this bundle, and that's with the 10% off, and then that qualifies you to get an item from the Celebration catalog. And then this is the first card that we're going to be making. It's really a very simple card. I didn't put a sentiment on it, but you could, if you wanted, you could add one. You could put a small strip right here. And we're using a lot of the dies. Now, this stuff I've already pre-cut. I wanted to save some time, but I am going to stamp it, and then I'll show you. For those that may be new and are not familiar enough with the stamping, I want to stamp it on a piece of scratch paper, and then just show you how the dies really they kind of hover. They really come close to the edges, so it's just a lot better than the dies that we are using now, that are created just for Stampin' Up, are come really close to the edge, so there's not a lot of white space between what you stamp and what you cut out, like what we used to have. So let me move this out of the way, but I'm just going to stamp, because I already have all of this stuff stamped out, and then we'll do a little bit of coloring. So let me just get out anytime we're going to use some blends. So we want to use Memento black ink. So I'm just going to stamp some on here, and I just want to show y'all. Again, this might be for those that might be new. This is just a scrap piece of paper, so I'm just going to stamp it right here. This is the dandelion. Isn't that cute? And then the die, look at all these dies that come in this set. We're going to use this one in one of the cards. Obviously, we're going to use this. We're using this. We're using that. We're using all of these. So this one is this one right here. We're going to pull off. And then look at how close. Let me cover up my ink. And let me hold this up. Hopefully, I didn't turn the light on above me because I didn't want it to... But look at how tight that is, how that comes. See how once you get it lined up, it's really, really close. So you don't have a lot of white space. So that's one thing about Stampin' Up's new dies, is they really hug the border of your stamps. The catalogs, you'll get it before the end of the month, Rosalie, and if you don't, let me know. But they are supposed to be sending them out, I want to say within the next week. If you don't have a demonstrator, anybody that's on here, if you would like one, just shoot me a message through Messenger or however, and I'll be more than happy to put one in the mail to you at no cost. Okay? All right, so that just kind of goes to show you how these dies really hug. So we're using, and you'll see as we go, these little guys here, we're going to use those in 2 of the cards, and then we're using most of these. And then there is, these are to cut out, there's a bee involved, so these, you can cut out bees. We got 2 bees. All right, so let's go ahead and let me move this out of the way. So again, I want you to see the card. Now what I'm going to do is I've already cut out those, I don't know, whatever those things are. And we're going to lay those down first, and then we're going to add our paper and stuff. All right. So I am using, and then we're going to do some blending. So let me pull in. I went ahead and cut all of my little pieces that we're going to use. And we're going to work with crumb cake. And this is 8.5 by 4.5, 4 1/4. And then, I'm sorry, yeah, 8.5 by 4.5, sorry, and scoring it at 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this over. Oh, you know what? I didn't bring out my scissors. Hold on a minute, you guys. I can't do anything without my scissors or my bone folder. Give me 1 second. I am so sorry. I packed everything and didn't pull those out. I put all my stuff from last week into a little container. See? Thought I was doing pretty good. All right. All of a sudden I sat down and thought, I don't have my bone folder or my scissors or my little tweezers. Better pull that out too. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Let me get myself organized. Let me put my little things over here. Okay. So what we're going to do. All right. I've cut out a bunch of these little guys, and we're going to do some creating with these. There's 3 different sizes of these little, I don't know what they are, but you can build a flower, and we'll do that in the next card. So I've got, these are like the medium size. So I did 3 of those. And then I've done 3 bees. We're going to color those in just a second. And then I'll show you what we're going to do. So, all right, now that I have all my pieces, and then we've got some grass here. And we're going to make some grass. So hang on a second. Let me put this over here. All right, so we're going to, first of all, let's go ahead and let me get my bone folder and get my cardstock all burnished. All right, so that helps. All right, now these guys, okay, let's color. Let me go ahead and color this in. Hang on a minute. Let me get over here and get my little bees in order. So we're going to color our little bees. And let me get a scrap. Oh, and the names that were drawn from last week, and if Pam's on here, Pam Horn. Oh, I just see you, Pam. I will be mailing your cards from last week out. I have not done it. I've got to get the printer out of from under the bed. So I'll do that tomorrow. But Kathy, for last week, Kathy, oh, let me think. Let me see how you pronounce it. Is it Veverka? V as in Victor, Everka, Kathy with a C. And then Judy Degata. If you all are on, make sure you message me. Judy, I should have your address, but if you'll just both message me your addresses, then you'll get the cards from last week. And then Pam, yours will be the week before, if I'm not mistaken, right? No, you all, I'm sorry, Kathy and Judy will get the cards from tonight if I'm not. Anyways, I'll figure it out. So, okay. All right, so let's get our blends. Now I'm using Old Olive Dark and Old Olive Light, and then of course I'm going to use, I think this is a Dark Daffodil. So let me go ahead, I'm just going to color in the leaves down here. So let's move this out of the way a little bit. And then we got to color our butterflies. So these are going to be, and you notice if you look, these, we have that little, the stamp, we have the cutter that will cut these out as well. So we've got an extra die in there. So let me just go ahead and, let me get my small end. So let me go ahead and just get these colored, just makes a few little, this won't take long at all. Just do a little few, following the lines that the artist has put in here, the designer. And then I'm going to come back and use our light and color the stem. And I'm not going to color that. I'm leaving that the way it is. And then I'm just going to go ahead and blend this real quick using our olive, the light olive. Now my dog's standing here staring at me. We just went out so she could go to the bathroom. I don't know what her problem is. Anyways, so, oh, I guess I better get in the thing so you can see me coloring. Okay, so let me get these colored. And Maybe come back a little bit with some more dark, I think. And I didn't color the daffodil. I just left it the way it is, the white. Let me come back with the dark just real quick and just do a little bit more accents. I'm gonna just put some lines on here. Kind of looks like arrows, doesn't it? It's funny how we see different things, huh? All right, and let me just do a little bit more blending on that. Actually, let's do the big tip one, and let's yeah, this is the light. I want to make sure I'm using the light. All right, and we're just going to kind of go over that real quick and blend that in. All right, and let's run this over here one more time. Okay. All right, so that's that, and then we've got two little we've got 3 bumblebees. So let me color them real quick because they just got a little tiny bodies and their heads. So this is, we're just going to hit this and his little body right there. Won't take long to color these little guys. And it's nice because it gives you the dies. You've got 2 sets of dies that you can color these bumblebees. So that makes it really nice if you're going to do a lot of cutting. Okay, that's all the coloring that we're going to do for this. Okay, now next thing we're going to do, we've got all these little pieces here. So all I'm going to do is glue these. Let me move these out of the way because those are going to go on after we do this. Let's get this out of the way. Let me put the bumblebees over here. All right, so I'm just going to take these and I'm just kind of building a background. And I'm just going to attach these to the front of the front of my card. But I want to have them kind of hanging out because we're going to have a piece of designer series paper that is going to be measured. Oh, let me see. It is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and this is out of the paper pack that coordinates with this stamp, with this set. This is the side that we're going to be using, and then the back side is different. Okay, so I'm just gonna lay these down randomly, and I'm gonna put different sizes, and I'm gonna try to get some where the little these kind of look like gears, don't they? So I'm gonna put one here, and then we're gonna do I'm just gonna kind of randomly put these out. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the edges so these little guys don't stand out. All right, so we'll put one over here, put those down there, and let's see, we'll do a little one. It's just something just to give it some a little bit of definition or something, but I want it to show through, so when we put our paper on here, I want to have it where those guys will be showing through. Okay, so this guy I can move over just a little bit. So I'm going to have it kind of like that. All right, so there's not going to be any right or wrong way. So we'll just place this around here. Whoops. And hang on, I got to get my tweezers. All right, so I know, and it kind of blends into the background, so it's kind of giving you just, I'm going to put one right about there. We'll put one there. Whoops. Put one there. Got a little too much glue on that one. And then let's put a little one up at the top here. We'll just kind of spread that glue around. And then I'm gonna place that one right about there too. So that should hopefully, when we lay it on here, it's gonna give it the effect that it's underneath. And then we'll put some down here. I cut a little, a couple of extras just to be on the safe side in case we wanted to do something else with it. And we may put one on the inside of the card. All right. And we'll put one down here. Let's see. And then again, you just kind of, it just doesn't really matter. It's however you want it to, whatever the look that you want to give it. Now this one I need to move down some because he's not showing and we want to have him. So, all right, so let's put one down here. Let me get up in the camera. Sorry, guys. Let me get myself situated. All right, we're gonna, whoops, I've got my bees trying to fly over here. Let's put one down here because it's looking kind of lost. So let's do a medium size one. And let me get some glue on the little edges here. This is where it might be good if you had a sponge. You could just sponge the glue on. So we're just gonna lay this one right about there. And I think that's probably gonna work. Let's see. And then we're gonna just glue this down. Yeah, I think that's gonna look right. That'll look good. Gives it a little bit, you know, not to that it has to be exact or anything, because you just are trying to give it the effect that there's, you know, stuff underneath. All right, so yeah, let's see. I think that looks good. All right, so I'm just going to add some adhesive to this. So I'm just going to put some Tombow on there. All right. In case you all are interested, because we're using this designer series paper, I am doing some paper, ribbon, and embellishment shares. So if y'all are interested, you can go, I think I have put something out on Facebook, on my Facebook page, or you can go to my blog at shallwestamp.com, or you can just email me and I'll send you the link and you can get all the information on it. I'm taking reservations now, and then of course we can't order everything until January 5th to be sent out to you guys. Okay? All right, so we're just going to lay that right there. And then next thing we're going to do is we're just going to build our card. And I just kind of did that to just give it a little, you know, like a background that blends in. So these little guys, we're going to move out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and take our flower. And I think I am going to, I don't know if I popped him up or not. Yeah, I did. All right, so this flower, I guess that's a dandelion. Let me move this out of the way. Bear with me one second. Let me get my dimensionals out here. And I've got the big ones and the little ones because we're going to need those. Let me clean my stamp off because I really don't need him sitting there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put some, I told you these are going to be some pretty easy, quick cards. And I think we'll put one right here. So we've got that. So let's go ahead and put this down. And then we're going to build our little grassy border around our dandelion. Isn't this cute? I just love this set. This is so pretty. I'm just going to place him right about there. And then I've got all these different pieces of grass, right? So I just cut a bunch so that we could, I cut 2 of each size. So I think what I want to do is have it like tall and then maybe have a short one in between. And we're going to put these down using dimensionals as well. I'll probably put one like this. And it really, however you want it to look. And if you want to put, I didn't put a sentiment, but if you want to put one, let's put some, we're going to put some mini dimensionals on these. But if you want to put a sentiment, then by all means you can just put it right down towards the bottom. I'm just going to put a little dimensional at the bottom of these, right there, just so that they'll look like they're kind of floating as far as the grassy part. And let's see, and if you, I don't know if you can see it, you probably can't see it on here, but they've got a little bit of like lines going through it. I don't know because it's kind of dark, so I don't think y'all can see that. But it's got lines that have been embossed in here as well. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we're just going to put another little baby. Whoops, he's hanging over. We got to fix that one. Hang on a second. He's hanging over. I got my nails done today, and I love this polish, and you know why I chose it? Because it said, "Come to Poppy." Isn't that a pretty color? I went to this really nice salon up the street here. It was really, really nice. The people there were extremely nice too. Okay, and then we're going to put one more on this little tiny guy here. And then we're just going to add these to the bottom. So I'm kind of doing like what they've done with the designer paper, you know, having that stuff there. All right, so I'm just going to take these off, and I'm just going to put some grass. I'm going to put one on this side, and I'm not going to put anything here, so I'm just going to let it stand up by itself. All right, and stay tuned because I think the first of the year I'm going to keep doing my Facebook Lives. I think I'm going to also do some classes via Zoom. So just stay tuned. If you're not on my newsletter, you need to sign up for it, and that keeps you up to date on what's going on in my little neck of the woods. And you can go to shallwestamp.com and sign up for my newsletter if you haven't already. And that keeps you up to date on things that I'm offering, classes that I'm doing, and all sorts of different little goodies. Okay, so we're just going to add that right about there. So I'm just trying to keep it, you know, looking like it's in the grass, right? And again, I said it's a very easy card. And now we've got our bees. So we're going to put our bees on here. And we're just going to use some mini dimensionals for these guys. And I'm just going to put one on each bee. And then we'll be done. And then if I want to add a sentiment, I can do that later. And again, I can just cut something out and put it right down at the bottom here. Would probably look good. All right, so we're just going to put our little bees like they're flying around. He's looking at that flower. Let's see. Let's put all 3 on here. Why not? And then we'll put this one. We'll put him there like he's going to that flower. I don't know if I can get this one. Nope, I can't get him because he'd be like, well, let's do that. Let's put one up there. Don't want to put too many on there, but and overdo it. Let's put it like he's getting ready to land on the flower. All right, so there is that card, and let's go ahead and put our inside piece. I think this is my inside. Yep. All right, so that's the card. So let's go ahead and put our inside piece in, and what we'll do is let's go ahead and ink up. Let's see. Yeah, let's ink up this guy, and then we're going to stamp off, and we'll just stamp that down in the corner of our inside piece just to give it a little look, make it look pretty. We don't want to leave, and then we're going to decorate our envelope, so don't go anywhere. Okay, so let me get my scrap paper over here. Hold on a second. I got to rip it off. All right, so let me just stamp off on this just a little bit. And then we'll stamp this. Let's do it on this side. Let me put my paper back on here. And let's just put this right. Oh, let's do it right by here. We'll just put that right there. Just a little bit on the inside of the card. And it's got a little bit of the leaf on it. All right, so we're going to put that on the inside. And we'll use our seal. Today it's cooperating. It wasn't cooperating the other day, and I was not a happy camper. Okay, and it's now starting to act up again. I'll tell you what, this is some strong adhesive. All right, so we're going to lay that right in here. All right, and then we can stamp something in here if we'd like, but I'm going to leave them blank because I just would prefer to, that way I can use it later. So there's our card. Pretty easy, right? All right, now we're going to do our envelope because we're going to use up our paper. Since we're buying it, we don't want to hoard it. So this is one way we're going to do it. And then we'll do some one-sheet wonders, but we're not going to do that tonight. Okay, so I think I want to do, since that is that, I think I'm going to put the dandelion like this here. What do y'all think about that? So let me go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of my flap. If y'all haven't done this before, this is why you need to use up your designer paper, because this helps to use it up. And I just put adhesive on the back of the flap, and then obviously this piece is big, but I'm going to lay it on here right up to the edge of the envelope and lay it down. And then we're going to flip it over and just trim it, and then I'll still have a good chunk of this paper that I can use for something else. So, and this is in the paper pack, you're going to, in my paper shares, you're going to get 123, and I'm cutting them at 6x6 only because it's easier to mail. So you're going to get, there's 13 new papers in the new catalog. So you're going to get that. So you're going to get 123 sheets, and it's $47 for the paper share. Of course, there's shipping involved. The embellishments, I want to say run $25, and you'll get, I think there's 180 some pieces of embellishments that you'll get. And then the ribbon share, there's I think seven or nine new ribbons. And the ribbon share is $16. You'll get 17 yards. But if you buy all three, then you'll get your ribbon for half price. So it's $88. Okay, so there is our card with our coordinating envelope. What do you think? Isn't that pretty easy? Pretty nice, huh? So there's our first card. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, give me a minute here, and let me move some stuff out of the way. Bear with me. I've got everything on my seat here. Okay, and the next one we're going to do, we are going to work with our chalk marker and some white baker's twine. If y'all haven't checked out the clearance rack, you might want to do that because they had some twine on there that was on sale for like, I want to say $3 and something, or I don't know. It was really inexpensive. So you definitely want to take advantage of that stuff because that stuff you can always use. All right, bear with me 1 minute because I don't want all my pieces to fall apart. All right, this is the card that we're going to be making. Now this one, this is Mossy Meadow. And I stamped the background in Mossy Meadow, which I need to get that ink out. And then we're using Bumblebee, Seafoam, and then this is stamped in I did a Versamark, and then I heat embossed it with white embossing powder. and then we cut it out with the dies. And then I added the Blackberry Bliss just to give it a little bit extra color. And then the inside, we stamped that. I stamped that stamp on the inside of the card. And then we're going to decorate the envelope as well. Okay, so let me pull in all my pieces. Now, most of these I've already done because I knew it was going to take too long to try to, you know, do the embossing and the cutting and all that mess. So let me get my pieces together. I do need to get my Mossy Meadow ink. So bear with me one second. I thought I pulled everything out. You know what? I think I can, I'm going to use the gray. I think it'll be fine. I don't think it's going to look much different, actually. Okay, so here's all our pieces. Oh, I don't think, I didn't put a, did I not put a Whisper White card in here? Apparently I didn't. I guess we're not going to decorate the inside of this card. Okay, so let's get, here's all my pieces. And I used, oh gosh, that punch. I don't have it with me, so I don't remember the name. But this one, and then what I did here is this is where I used the chalk marker, the white chalk marker. I just drew outlined the shape of the punch. I think it's the Everyday Label. Is that right? I'm not sure. So I'll put it. I'll list all the stuff that I use so that y'all know. And I made an extra one just in case. Okay, so we're going to use Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to fold it in half again. It's a 8.5 by 4.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Now this one we're going to turn, where the first one opened like a book, this one we're going to leave it where it opens like this, okay? Now, what I did do is I took the stamp, and let me get that real quick, and we're going to stamp a little bit. I just want around the edges of the background of the stamp, and I'm just going to stamp, oh, what do I want? I think I'm just going to use this little round piece right here. So give me 1 second, and let me take this block, and we'll use this one. I don't need the bee, so I'll put him back. I initially did the Mossy Meadow, which is tone on tone, but I'm going to use the basic gray because honestly you're not going to be able to see it because there's not that much that's hanging out of the edges. And I just wanted to give it a little bit of background. And so let me just do that, and let me get my scrap paper again. We'll put that on here. It's got all my notes on the back for things that I'm working on. And I'm just going to come along and just kind of stamp a little randomly. And I don't want to do a whole lot, but just enough that you can almost stamp just a little bit off. And then just a little bit down at the bottom. Sorry. If it gets dark, let me know and I can turn the light on if y'all need to, if you're not able to see. But I did turn it off because I didn't want the shadows showing through. It seemed like I was having more shadows than I needed. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. And this is the stamp. It's just I guess like a splotch of a dandelion or a flower or something. I'm not quite sure what it is. Okay. All right, so let's move this out of the way. And then I am using, all right, so the Seafoam spray. I was looking for my ruler, my little baby ruler, but anyways, this is the Seaside Seafoam is 2 3/4 by 5.5. Okay, so that's going to go in the center, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to layer, and these strips are 1/2 inch, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, these are 1/2 inch by 5.5 because it's going to go edge to edge. And then I did some bumblebee, and these are 3/4 inch. So I'm going to do the bumblebee, and then this on top, and then this will go on top. All right. So all I'm going to do, but I'm going to work it backwards because I want to have my paper. Let me move this piece of paper out of the way because it's got stuff on it. It's distracting. So I'm going to place this. Now I'm going to place this underneath. So I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to put this so when I flip it over. So I'm going to put this on here so we have a little bit of this showing. And then, actually I'll do it this way. Then that way I know how much. And if I've got a little bit too long, then I'll just trim it off because sometimes it's better to do that. All right, so let me put it on the back of my cardstock. I always find it's easier when you're doing stuff like this to put it on the back, and then you can work it. Let me get my silicone mat, This is a must-have in your craft room. This little guy, I think it's $5 if I'm not mistaken, but you've got to have one of these because it keeps your glue and everything from sticking all over everywhere. All right, so I'm going to lay this down here, and I just want about, probably about half of it. So it's going to show maybe about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm just going to lay it down there. And then I'm going to come in with my bumblebee, and then I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to lay this here just so that I have another little layer. And again, I'm going to trim those off, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to take and flip this over. And this way, I don't get too much adhesive on that side. So I can do it this way, and then I know that I've got it enough that it's going to hold. All right, so then we're going to put this right here, and I'm going to line this up on this side. And again, I don't want a whole lot showing, but I just want enough to give it some color. So we'll lay that right there. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll trim off the excess. All right, so we don't need that. And where's my other gold? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, so we are going to put some adhesive here. Sometimes you got to get it going, the new seal. All right, so we're going to line this one up. Oh, you know what I just did? I put that on the wrong side. Oh, my God, Dawn. Let's see. Let me think about this for a second. Let me get my adhesive remover. I needed to have it on the other side. I was getting so anxious. No, I've got it right. No, I don't. I've got it like this. Okay, hang on. This is why we have this this remover here. We'll just get all this off. And actually, I need to stamp this too, because, and of course, go figure, right? I didn't bring any extra supplies in case I screwed up, but that's all right. We'll get it off here. See, sometimes I talk too much. I should just pay attention to what I'm doing, but that's all right. I wish we still sold these things because they are wonderful. I got to stamp my image on here, and I forgot to do that, and I'm already adding my pieces, but we're still good because we'll be all right. We can still do it. Just give me a minute. Let me clear this off. It's old. I keep sanding it down so that it keeps, so I can pull the glue off, right? Y'all can relate if you use this guy. We'll get him off. It won't take very long. We'll move him to the center of the thing, because the center is one that stays pretty clean. It's the corners that I use the corners all the time because it's just easier, right? When you're stroking it across. So I've got it pretty much off of there. So let me just go back over here real quick. So y'all get to see me do some erasing. We don't sell these anymore, but I think you can find them on Amazon. I'm sure you can. Somebody had told me last year they found a bunch at the Dollar Tree, and I was like, man, I would have snatched up a bunch of them because I love these. I have 2 of them, and I do use them quite often because, you know, I always tend to make mistakes. I'm going to flip it over so I can get all this stuff off. But isn't that great how it just pulls the adhesive right on off? So, anyway, so you get to see me make mistakes, which it seems like it's every Tuesday. That's why I said come and join me, because it's like a comedy hour. So let me just do a little bit of erasing right here. There we go. I think we got most of it off. There we go. No one's going to know the difference. Look at that. All right. There we go. Perfect. Got that glue off of there. So, hey, Judy, how are you? Oh, my goodness. Okay. So before I add these other pieces and mess this thing up, I need to stamp my flower. I forgot to do that. So let's get our let's get our gray out. We're going to use basic gray, and we are going to use the stamp that is right here. Hang on a second. This is the one that we're going to stamp. So let me get it on the block real quick. My apologies. So you just get to see me, you know, do a little taken off here. Okay, so we're going to stamp this, and again, I'm going to stamp this. Let me get under here. I'm going to stamp this off because I don't really want it to be dark, and I'm only going to stamp part of it because the stamp's a pretty good size stamp if you look at that. So I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp off. Oops, I missed some on this one. We'll make sure we get that there. All right, so we're going to stamp off. And then I'm just going to come in here and just do some random stamping. All right, and we'll stamp off again. And then I want probably this one to be a little bit over this way so we don't cover each other up. And just to give it some kind of a background. It doesn't have to be, you know, we'll put this one here because this one should fit. Hang on a second, let me see. I don't want to cover that guy up. Well, let's do this. We'll put this one off a little bit. There we go. All right, so never two are alike, right? Now we could, if we wanted, we could add one right there, but I'm not going to do that. But you could fill it up, but I think it'll be fine. It's going to be pretty much covered by the time we add all the other goodies to it. All right, so now we can get in here and do the right way of putting the adhesive on here. All right, let me flip it around this way. So I want to have my, let me move this out of the way. Now I got little glue dots all over my fingers. All right, so, okay, let's try this again. We're going to pull in our strip of designer series paper, and we're going to put that right on here. So let me put some on the back here. So if you don't have that little eraser thing, even though sorry that we don't carry them, I'm sure you can probably find it at one of the other you know, a craft store online through Amazon or whatever. Okay, my paper's turning. I got so excited here, I having to erase my stuff. All right, so we're gonna line this up here. Again, I'm gonna cut off any excess that's hanging, so don't worry. I'll get all that once we get all this on here. And then again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna add adhesive to the back of this, and then we're gonna add this to our bumblebee strip. Whoops! Got my little things all over my fingers. And again, we're going to, and I'll trim that off. I got one side longer and the other side shorter, so it's all right. Try to make sure it's straight. I think that's going to be good. Okay, so that'll work. All right, so there's that. So let me just come in here with my paper snips and just trim off the edges. All right, so there's that part of the card. I forgot to bring one of my little trash cans, so I'm having to put everything on the edge of the table. I'm always afraid I'm gonna get something all over it, you know. All right, so the next thing that we need to do is I'm gonna put this on here, and all I did was, and I copied this, if I'm not mistaken. I think I copied it from the catalog. So I'm gonna adhere this. I'm gonna use my, and this is a piece, I think it's yeah, I think it's Blackberry Bliss. And I just did this to add some color. Let me find my tweezers. And I'm just going to add this down towards the bottom. And I hate to cover up the flowers, but let's do it. Let's do it right about here. Okay, so we're just going to lay that there. All right, now, before we add this guy here. Oh no, my little flower looks like he's dying. We're going to have to fix him. He's bent. All right, we'll get him fixed. We're going to wrap some of the baker's twine, the white baker's twine, around the card before I attach it to my card base. And I want to have that run over the Blackberry Bliss. And remember, if you watched last week, it was, or the week before, if you want a bow, just wrap it around 4 times your width. Well, at least get it 4 times. And then you'll have enough to tie your bow. All right, so let's trim that, and that just keeps you from wasting it. And I want my bow over to the left-hand side, and you can have it wherever you want it. Depends on where you're going to put your piece that you've embossed. Okay, so let me get this here, lay that on here, and your craft sheet comes in handy too, because I've got glue on the back of this, you know, the adhesive, so it's sticking. That way it doesn't stick to your table, your surface, or your paper. And I'll move everything up once I tie this thing. All right, so we'll get it on here. I'm going to go ahead and tie it, and then I'll adjust it accordingly, because I can move this. I can slide it around. So let me get that in there. All right, and pull that down and tighten it up. And see, I used a little bit too much string, but that's okay. Too much twine, I should say. Get that one's a little too long. Let's pull him down a little bit. Only thing about the baker's twine, it always wants to twist, and it could be the way that I'm cutting it, you know, or the way I'm doing it. Who knows? All right, so I'm just going to cut these guys. All right, and then you can always slide it around. So I'm just going to adjust it because I want to get my string so it's straight. We'll pull this one down just a little bit. All right. Okay, and then we're going to add this little guy. Now this one I'm going to have to put some adhesive or something on the back because it looks like it's about to come apart. Let me put that on there. Maybe that'll help. It's one of those little things I scraped off. Okay, so let's get some dimensionals. And I think we're going to use the regular size dimensionals. Let me find them. Oh, over here. All right, and okay. So we'll put some dimensionals here. We're going to pop this up, and we'll put one here, and we'll put one on each of these little pieces because we can do that and hide them. That one just fits there. All right, so we'll pop these up and place these down. And I'm going to be careful with the middle one before I take that off because it's gotten a little loose. I don't know when I packed it. But anyways, and I used Versamark and then embossed it with white embossing powder. Pardon me. It ran this through the die. So those of you that are just joining, this is the Garden Wishes stamp set, and I'm using the bundle. And I'm going to place this right about, and I'm going to have to probably trim this. Nope, wait a minute, because we're going to get that on the card. Wait a minute, let me get this on the card first. Then we know where to place it. All right, so we're going to put that in the center. So let's go ahead and get our adhesive out. And we're just going to add our Tombow and get this on there. Then we can place it because it's going to go over. And I'm going to place that right about there. And this is Mossy Meadow cardstock. And I used basic gray in case you're wondering. I left my Mossy Meadows in the travel bag down and I didn't feel like getting up and getting it while y'all were sitting there waiting for me. So, okay, so we've put that on the front of our card. Now we're going to add this piece to the front of our card. And I don't want this guy to rip. I think he got a little bit folded, but we'll get him on here. No one's going to know the difference. And I'm going to place him right here because this is kind of an open space. I probably should have put another one right there taller. But no, I think that this will be fine. And I'm going to place this. Let me get him up there. So he's going to go down first. We'll put him right about there. And then we'll place these here. All right. Okay, so that's that so far. And now we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I'm going to stamp this in basic gray. And this is wishing you all the best. Whoopsie. So let's go ahead and get that inked up. Boy, I've been using a lot of the gray lately. I normally don't use gray, but bear with me. I hope the shadows aren't getting. I didn't turn the light on above because I know last week we had shadows. Okay. Let's see. It's a little crooked. Let's try it again. I think I got the stamp on here crooked. Hang on a minute. That's the only bad thing. I needed to test it out first. Let's see. You know, when you put those, when you put the little tags on them, sometimes you don't get your picture on there exactly. So give me a second. Let me try this. I'm going to test it out and see if it's straight. Okay. All right. So let's stamp that here. All right. Well, that's just going to have to go. That's how it is. I have another one, but we're going to let that one roll. Okay. And then we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. I think with all of this stuff on the card, no one's going to notice a difference. Oh, and the next thing before I do my dimensionals, hold on. That's what we're going to use this chalk marker. And I'm just going to draw a line just to give it some definition, just to kind of give it a different look. I'm just going to draw a line and follow the punch. So I'm just going to draw a line at the bottom and just kind of go around. And then just to give it a little bit of a different look. Okay, and let's turn it this way. Is this too dark for you guys? I know we're getting down to the last card. We got one more to go. Can y'all see? Okay, I think that's good. I can always bring the camera down some if we need to. Let me see if I can zoom in. Whoopsie, there we go. Okay, so now we'll put some dimensionals on this. And we'll get this card will be done. Okay. I love this stamp set, and I'll show you the set again for those that came on a little bit later. And we're just going to place this I'm just going to place it right down here because I still want some of that Blackberry Bliss, or yeah, I think it's Blackberry Bliss. All right, so there we go. There's our card. Isn't that cute? It's just different. It's a little different. That piece right there is a little bent. There's our card. Now I could have added, it looks a little naked here, so I may go back and try to just stamp another little flower right there so it doesn't look quite so naked. All right, and then for this card, we're going to take, and of course you'll put something on the inside. This one, we're going to use this paper, this side here. We're going to decorate the envelope for this one. And let me pull this off to the side. Gosh, I got everything sliding all over the place. And we're going to do the same thing. Now, because I've got a up and down, right? So I want to glue it like this, right? So let's put our seal on here. Because I'm going to start using up, since I'm like you guys, I get paper and then I don't want to use it because it's too daggone pretty. But I've decided this year I'm not going to do that any longer. I'm going to use up my my paper. All right, so I'm going to lay it this way because when they fold the envelope, that's going to be where it's going to be in the right direction. So we're going to lay that right up to the fold. We're going to lay that on there, and then we'll trim this one up. And see, that's the back side of paper that we used on the previous card. And for you, those of you that may come on a little bit late, I'll show you everything once we get done. And, okay. We'll just trim this up. And it's pretty easy. Let me just trim it around there. And you don't really have a lot of waste, honestly. That's about the only piece in this little strip right there. So let's move this out of the way. Put that over there. Add that to my scraps. And then there is our coordinating envelope. Isn't that pretty? What do you think about that? Put that right there so y'all can see it. Okay. All right, so that's the second card. So let's move this one out of the way. All right, let me move him. And give me just 1 second. I need to get some of these little paper scraps off out of sight because they're kind of in the way. Okay, let's move this. Move that. I'm just going to throw it in there. Okay, and then the next card. All right, we're getting 3 done tonight. Oh yeah, we're pretty good. It won't take that long. Bear with me 1 second while I pull all the stuff out. This is going to be, now again, this is another one that we're using. I did the die cutting. All right, let me, and hang on a minute, I'm getting all my scraps together. Okay, this is the one that we're making. And again, this is on Mossy Meadow as well. And this is Balmy Blue. And this piece right here, I did write it down because I have my little cheat sheet. This is, of course, this is 4 by 5 1/4. And then the Balmy Blue is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then see those pieces? We did that on the first card. Now we're going to make a flower. And then we're going to use those little leafy looking things. And I'm not sure what this thing is, but that's what we're doing. And then I pulled in some butterflies from the butterfly gems. And then we'll stamp our sentiment. And then on the inside, I had an extra piece left over, so I added that to the bottom of the inside of the card. All right? Okay, so that's the one that we're going to be making now. All right, so let's get started on this one. Let me pull all my pieces in, and we'll decorate our envelope for this one as well. So, okay, hang on a minute. Pardon me. Okay, let's get our pieces. We'll do all of this together. Why is it? There we go. The lady, when I got my nails done today, she said, I told her I wanted them short, and she goes, she cuts them, and she goes, is that short? And I'm like, no, that's not short enough. And she thought I was crazy. So, because I don't want them, I don't like them really long. They start getting, you know, where you can't do anything, right? Give me a second. I'm cleaning my stamps real quick so I can move these out of the way. I've got too much. Again, I'm working at the little kitchen table in the RV, so it doesn't give you a whole lot of room. Well, I guess if I didn't have all this stuff here, but, you know. All right, so here's our little pieces that we're going to put all this together. And let me move these out of the way here. And we're going to build our flowers. Get my papers out of the way. I really love this stamp set. There's so many possibilities with this. And this is our envelope. Okay. Again, Mossy Meadow. Fold it in half. And again, this one we're going to have it where it opens like a book. All right. So we're going to take this piece, and I like this one because it's got all the pieces that we're going to be kind of using, right? Let me get in the camera. Let me come out a little bit. I think I'm too close. Hang on one second. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our adhesive on here. And look at those. I hate to cover up those butterflies, but aren't those pretty? Ugh. But you get, this paper comes in 6x6 pack. So there's 48 sheets in the pack, and there's 4 designs of each. So you'll get, yeah, there's 4 designs of each. So there you go. So there's plenty that you can work with and not worry about not having enough, because you will. All right, so we're going to lay that on there. And this is, again, it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And, you know, if you're new at stamping, this is very easy to do. I mean, these are really not difficult. The whole thing that makes it simple, if you want to use that word, that terminology, is the dies. The dies do all the work for us. All right, so now all I'm going to do before I attach this, I'm going to set this off to the side, is we're going to build our flower, okay? So I'm going to, now this, it has a long stem, so I just cut that off. I'm going to trim that off because we're not going to see that. But I'm going to build this, and I think I popped them up. I think I did I think I did the top one on a dimensional, if I'm not mistaken. Because I wanted them to look, I can't remember how I did it. Yeah, I just did the little one. Okay, so let me trim this off, because this is the stem, and you're not going to see this because it's going to be, we'll hide it. All right, so we're going to attach this, and we're going to use some adhesive and place this down. Don't these look like gears? I think it does. I know I said that on the other card, but, and I'm just going to put a couple of little dots right here, if I can get the thing to come out, so that they'll stick. There we go. All right. And let me pull this up. Okay. So I'm going to lay this. I don't want to put that on my card. Hang on a minute. Let me get my silicone. I should just leave the silicone sheet right here because it comes in so handy. All right, so we're just going to lay this on here, and I'm going to turn it just like we do with the other flowers. I'm just going to, you know how you kind of put them in between the circles and the openings. So we're going to put that right there. And then this little boy, whatever, this little guy here, we're going to put a little baby mini dimensional on here. We'll pop that one up. Okay. I'll put my glue in its holder. All right, so we're going to attach that there. Okay. And you could always add an embellishment to the top of that if you wanted. All right, so now we can start building. So let's see. Now we can kind of lay out how we want our card to look. Now this is my stem. I had to cut this out because I wanted it to have a green stem, right? So we're going to glue this down. But I got to first figure out, I think we'll do it just like we did the other one. And we'll place that right here, and we'll just trim everything off that we need to. Yep, let's do that. And I think that will hold. So let's see if we can get, let me adhere this down. And I'm going to put a little bit right on the edge of one of these. And we're going to lay this, let's see. And I'm going to trim this off a little bit. I'm going to have it going at an angle. And I put a little bit of adhesive to help hold the stem down. We'll put that there. And then I'm just going to come underneath and place a couple of little dots on this little guy. And that way it will hold. All I'm going to do is just try to get enough glue to hold it down. And just put some little dots on here. Because I don't want to put too much and then it slides around, right? So let's do that. We'll get him on here. I'm going to try to bend him a little bit. And I'm not going to be too concerned with that glue right there because we're going to have, let me get back up here. Sorry, I keep pulling it towards me so I can see it and y'all aren't getting into the picture. So, all right, so that's going to go there. And we can just adjust him as we want. Let me go ahead and glue this guy down. So this one, I'm going to put a little mini dimensional there, right in that little center part, because we can get him in there. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to get my glue going and add a few drops so that we can make sure that he's going to stick down there. And sometimes it's good, you know, you take a sponge and put some glue on your silicone mat, and then you can just kind of sponge the glue on there, because the glue on this silicone mat just washes off. You let it dry and then you can just wash it right off or peel it off or whatever. All right, so we're going to put this on here. So let's put him down like I did here. Oops, hang on a minute. That little baby dimensional is showing. We don't want that to show. He's got to move up some. There we go. I think that'll hide it. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's lay that. We're going to come down here. So we're going to put that there, and then we're going to trim these guys off. And we can let that, I think I'm going to let that hang. We can always put a little bit of adhesive under these little dots, but I kind of like it. It kind of gives it more of a 3D effect. So let's just go with that. And then these, I'm just going to attach these. And these have a, they're embossed. I don't think you're going to be able to see this because I don't have the light very well. But it's embossed. I'm trying to get over here if you can see it. It embosses the inside. So you've got the veins of the leaf. So we're just going to put some adhesive on this and lay this down. Whoops, got a little bit too much there, so let's put some on this little guy. We'll share. All right. So we're going to put this one, and they kind of go different directions. So I'm going to place, that one's bigger, so I'm going to place this little one here. We're going to have them crisscross, I guess. We'll put that one right there. Whoops, hang on a minute. He's a little too high. Hold on. Back it up. Don't want him on top of that guy. Okay, there we go. All right, and then we'll put a little bit of adhesive on this one, and these are going to be hidden anyways because we're going to put a sentiment there. If I get my adhesive to come out. All right, put some up here at the top. All right, and it's 8 o'clock, so we'll be done here probably in about 5 minutes. All right, I'm going to place this one on here, and again, I'm going to crisscross just a little bit and have him up higher because he's a bigger one. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. So no, we don't. We're not going to trim it yet. Hang on. We don't want to do that yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's lay this on our card, and then we'll add the final touches and stamp our sentiment. All right, and then we'll trim the pieces because I want to make sure, let's move this out of the way. I want to make sure we have it hanging down off the card. I don't want to cut it too short. And I'm just putting it at an angle. Sometimes I like doing this because I think it gives it just a different look in the card. And you just got to just turn it just enough to get it where you want it. And I think I'm going to put it just about, move it up just a little bit. Right about there. All right, so we're going to lay that there. Now we can trim up our little pieces, and I'm going to trim that right to there. And I'm just going to let it hang. Actually, let me trim it down so it doesn't go past the paper. There we go. All right, so everything's glued down there. Now hold on, we're not done yet. All right, I've got glue on my paper here. So let's move this over here. All right, now let's do our sentiment, and we're going to do your act of kindness, or your acts of kindness are like a breath of fresh air. Now, for those of you that may not know this or new at stamping, because my Bumblebee ink pad is in the bottom of my travel bag, I've got the marker. So when you have we can do markers to your red rubber, and the nice thing about this is you just color. And if you want to, let's say you have some words you want to do in different colors, this gives you the ability to change your color. So you could color this part here one color, or these up here could be a different color and all that. So this is just another way that you can get different uses out of your markers. So if you have the Marvelous markers, or the mini, I think that's what they're called, mini Marvelous markers, then that's what will allow you to do that. So let me just make sure, and the thing with the yellow, obviously I can't see, but I'm making I am checking because I can see that it's wet, so that tells me I've got color on it. We'll see how it looks. All right. So I'm going to huff on it because I'm going to keep it moist. Let's move that out of the way. And then we're going to stamp this. And we're going to put that right about there. Just let it sit for a second or two. And then we'll pull it up. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, so this one we're going to pop up on dimensionals. See why you always have to have dimensionals? Because they come in handy for everything, right? Let me make sure it's dry. Now using the ink pad, this is a little bit darker, but it works, right? So we're just going to put 3 dimensionals on here, and I'm going to peel these off, and then we're going to place this. And this piece here is, let me see. Did I write that? Oh, I didn't write that down. So let's see. It's got to be an inch. Yeah, it's an inch by 3 3/8. And I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to leave a little bit of the blue showing, and I'm going to place this right about here. So it's going to go edge to edge as well. We'll place that right there. All right, and then the last thing that we're going to do, oops, I'm sorry, is we are going to, I shouldn't say the last thing because we have more to do. We're going to put some of these butterflies on here, and then we're going to decorate the inside of the card. So I am going to take, now we can glue this down, but I really think I like it up like that. Maybe I should just glue one of them down. Let me just put a little dot. Let me put a little dot underneath one, but I think it might look kind of funny. Let's see. No, I think I'm going to leave it. I like it hanging up. All right, let's put, I think I'm going to go with these. These are the little butterfly gems. So I'm just going to pick these up with my snips. And they have adhesive on the back, which I'm going to use the smaller one. I don't want to use the big one. So we'll just put a couple of butterflies flying around in here. This shouldn't add any more bulk to the, to your card. So I mail mine. I usually put something to cover. Whoops, that one I just didn't put his, whoops, hang on a minute. Lifted up his piece of adhesive. So I'm going to lay that one right here. This is the adhesive that it just came off, and it's in the shape of the butterfly. So I'm just going to come back because I didn't pick them up together, and I'll just lay them right on top of that, and that should hold him right in place. There we go. Okay. All right, so that's that. And then we are going to, for the inside, since I have that scrap that I cut off from the designer paper, I'm going to add that to the bottom. So we're going to put that right there. So everything will be dressed up and look all nice and pretty. And you could use this side of the paper if you wanted, but since that's what we used on the front, then I want to keep it consistent. All right, so we will put that in here and lay that down at the bottom. Now my dog's under the table licking her feet. I swear the dog is something else. All right, let's let that sit for a minute because I do need to trim that up. And then I'll trim that in just a minute. Now we're going to come back and we're going to do our envelope, and we're going to use this piece of paper. And I think, now we have that on the inside and the outside, and we could do that, but I think I might want to do this one. What do y'all think? I think we should do the butterflies. Let's do that one. This would be fine because it kind of does coordinate. Should we put that on the back so it coordinates with the card? Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep it all the same. Let's just coordinate. All right, so we are going to just go ahead and do this again. Add our adhesive. And, of course, I'm going to have to put something down here to hold this paper down. And let's see, we want it to go this way. So we'll put that right up here. Yeah, I think this will look nicer anyways because it's going to, they'll be wondering, what in the wild world of sports is that? And then they open the card and they'll see it and they'll think, oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, so we'll just trim this up. We're almost done. So again, if you haven't shared, please share my video. I greatly appreciate it. You have until next Tuesday if you haven't, to go into the drawing for the cards, and you will get both of, or actually you'll get all 3 cards that is made. And if you haven't gone to my YouTube channel, please check that out and like and subscribe if you don't mind to my channel. That's helping. I'm trying to start trying to increase that. Actually, I think I may start when we get back in January, trying to do maybe a daytime YouTube live. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about that. All right, so this is the inside of our cards. Let's go ahead and put that on the inside, and we'll pick this up. And don't go anywhere because I want to show you all the rest of the cards that we made. So you got to stay tuned. All right. And again, if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to work with you. And if you don't and you would like a catalog, please reach out and let me know. I'll be more than happy to send one to you in the mail. All right. Okay. So there you go. I think that looks much better. There's that card. All right. So there's this card. And then here is the other card that we made. Hang on a minute. And we've got this one here. That's my shopping code. All right, so we have those 2. Y'all can see that in there. Let me get that. And then the last one, hang on, is this one here that we did. In case you just came in, this is some of the other, there's bees and grass, and then we did the envelope on that one. So there you go. There are the 3 cards that we made for this evening. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank you again for taking time out of your Tuesday evening. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you comment if you haven't already and share the video link. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right. Thank you again for joining me this Tuesday evening, and put me back on camera. Thank you again for joining, and I will see you all next Tuesday. All right. Have a good evening. Bye now. Thanks, Judy. Oh, and Judy, your name was drawn for the cards from last week. I'll get those out in the mail tomorrow. Okay, thanks everyone.